everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Unverified Accounts Pod. How are you doing, Micayla?
I've been good. How are you, Sydney?
Doing.
You're alive. You're here. That's
Yeah.
all that matters. Okay, well, today we just are gonna have a nice, simple conversation about we're at that age where we start analyzing success, and although we shouldn't, we compare our success to other success, and that's not good. But we all do it. So, yeah, I feel like a lot of people can relate to this upcoming conversation topic, whatever. Anyways, I guess let's just jump into it. So Sydney, how do you define success? I mean, I guess we could have two separate, like, how do you yourself define success within your life, as well as just in general, how do you define success? Because I
What
feel like
success
those can be
is
two
to
different
me,
things.
like what success is to me versus how do I define it? Is
Okay,
that what you
so
mean?
maybe okay, I'm
Or
trying to
what would
explain
success look like for me versus how,
versus because I feel like there's two different categories of success. You have what success looks like for you, like life wise, and there is what does being successful look like to you, or how is that defined to you? Because I feel like you can have success in different areas, and being successful, usually when people say successful, they're talking about career wise, family wise, whatever. And then you could just have success in a lot of different other areas of your life. So I feel like it's important to kind of separate those because they are like different. I feel like there's a lot of people who are successful externally, but within themselves, they still don't feel like they've gotten there, even though they are successful. So, I mean, whatever, however you want to answer, it's whatever.
I don't even know how I would define success because I myself don't ever really think I'm successful. It's always someone else coming to me and being like, Sydney, you are successful because you've accomplished all these things, but I don't feel like those things mean anything or like I don't see them as big of a as such a big accomplishment as other
Mm.
people do. Like I just feel like everybody can do it. Like that's nothing. People are doing way more than me. Um I don't know how would I define success. I mean, I think success can look different for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's basically how I would define it basically is like you have a set of goals that you want to achieve and you are proactively achieving them
Okay.
and chipping your way at them. Like,
So for you, at the end of the day, you look back now, and it's also hard because I feel like everybody has this idea that like by 40 or by 45 or by 35, when in reality, you might get there at 55, 60, or you might quit your job and do something else and be like, this is really what I was supposed to do. But like without over analyzing that, for you personally, what do you think specifically would be your success? That's either internal, it could be mindset, it could be net worth, it could be family, it could be any of those things. But what for you is the specific, like, if I have this, or if I am able to achieve this, like that's your bar.
it's interesting where he chose this topic because I was honestly on the phone with my dad earlier, literally called him while I was at work because I was just like, I feel like I'm always broke. Like, no matter how much money I make, except for when I was working in entertainment. Like, I moved from a studio where I was paying a ridiculous amount every month. So now
Right.
I'm paying still a ridiculous amount, but much less, like maybe 500 plus less than I was paying for my studio. And
Mhm.
it was easy for me to pay for my studio. I'm like, how am I living? Like, my living is less expensive, and not struggling to pay my rent every month, but my rent is like taking up most of my
Most
check.
of, yeah.
And I'm just like, it's just not adding up. Like, I thought I wanted this corporate career. I hate it here. Like, I'm ready to go back to working in entertainment. And then I just constantly think of how much money I was working, like making working there versus
Mhm.
here. And how I want to like have my whole side hustle thing, but it's not really taking off. But I know what I need to do to get it to take off, but I'm not applying myself. So
Mm.
I guess success for me at the end of the day is really just applying myself. Like, I look back at college and I'm like, I accomplished all these things and I applied myself for all these things and I was just doing any and everything. And I don't know what's going on right now. Maybe I'm going through a little depressive phase, but I just like making my bed and washing the dishes is just like a good day
Who are
for
you
me.
telling? My mom literally came over. Oh, love my mom. Hey, ma, girl, literally came over while I was at work and saved my life because she cleaned not my bedroom and my like, but for the most part, she came, cleaned it out, aired it out. I walked in, I said, I can see my whole apartment. So who are you, girl? I know the struggle, babe.
Yeah. And I know we're gonna probably get into this later, but just like comparison really just like is
Woo!
messing with me right
Yeah.
now. So
So
yeah.
I have a tip for you.
Mhm.
Just compare yourself to me. And it should be
I
it
do
should be
compare myself.
easy.
I've been doing that lately.
And you're still not feeling great about yourself.
No.
Oh, well, you must be looking at the wrong aspects, honey, cause babe. Um,
I mean, I guess success for other parts of myself outside of just like my career.
uh-huh.
It's hard for me because I just feel like what I'm passionate about is also what my career is. And
Mhm.
trying to separate the two is kind of hard because although I am thriving at work and everybody loves me and I'm doing great, I also hate that job
Yeah,
and I'm not doing what I love. So it's just
understand.
like frustrating. And then personal life, it's like I'm still not applying myself. Like, I should be at this desk every day at the sewing machine or at my dress form, and I'm just not doing it. And then on top of that, I mean, I guess every other like my family relationships are going really good. I feel
Mhm.
like I could be a better cousin to like my baby cousin and maybe a better sister to my siblings.
Mhm.
But I'm doing the best I can with the energy that I have. Um,
Well, you sound like a
and
mama. I'm doing the best I can with the energy I have.
yeah, I guess that's really it. Like, relationship wise, I mean, like, I don't really care. I mean, like, things are looking up right now, but it's just also like I'm not putting like for once in my life, I'm not in this la la land. I'm like I got my own stuff to worry about. You
Mhm.
just if I have the energy for it, I'll text you,
Yeah, if I
but
have time for you,
yeah.
I'll allot it.
What about you? I know I went on and on and on. I don't even know if I
No, that's
answered the
good
question.
because actually, while you were talking, I was thinking like, ooh, finally, because I feel like sometimes I'm like, we have an hour-long episode and I'm talking for like 58 minutes, and I just feel like, okay, so for me, I don't have like a number for things. Like I don't have, making X amount per year. I would like, babe, I need because first of all, tax brackets and middle class is way different from even just 10, 15 years ago when we were younger because
Mm,
now 6 figures is still like if you make right at that, let's say 100,000, you're
barely
still,
getting by still.
yeah, like 100K used to be you're middle class for sure,
Mm,
but you got a little wiggle room, just a little bit. Now it's like 6 figures, babe. So I hate to put a number on it because even if I'm making 90K a year, but it's something that I'm really love, or like even there's certain careers where the money isn't necessarily going to reflect the success of it. Like you have certain careers that you might make 90 or 70K, but you might be the most, well-known this person or whatever it is. But for me, I will say, I've said this a lot before. For me, success will be if I can get to what my mom was able to do, that would be great. I would like to, just a little, I'm sorry, Ma. It's not a competition, but girl, I do want to do better because it's like you have this, I don't know, like I don't want to be the same as my mom and the generation before me. Like people always say like, oh, you're supposed to do better than the generation. But babe, I'm sorry, she set the bar kind of high. So I'm struggling to figure out how I'm going to get there. But yeah, and then for her to be a single parent and able to provide more than a lot of double income homes is like, ooh, Michelle, I could just slap you because what do you want me to do? It's like, even though she always is like, oh, whatever makes you happy, or you don't have to. No, in my head, in my heart, whether or not I know that you did great, it's a lot of people who don't do that. How am I then going to have access to all this education, all these resources, all the support, and not do at least as good? Like, that's crazy to me. Now, I wasn't really pocket watching, but it was a couple days I was at her job on a Saturday, and I said, hold on, this just for the day, this the little check. Oh, girl. So fast forward, I'm at this position in my life where I always known and still know that there is more for me, that I have a certain, I don't even have a specific goal for success, but I have a certain, once I get there, I'm going to know, or once I figure out what it is that I want to do, I'm going to get there because I know that I can do it, but it's just getting there for me. So my success isn't, oh, I want to make six figures, or, oh, I want to have this. It's, if I look and compare myself to what my mom was able to do, then okay, I did decent. But it's still like, I always have this in the back of my mind, like, but what if you don't get there? Now that's negative because I'm going to. I feel like, those celebrities who are always like, I just knew I was destined. And they all of a sudden are just billionaires. But I feel like that's, what do they call it? Not availability bias. I forget the psychological term, but it's like, that's because you're a
I know what you're talking
celebrity.
about.
If
Yeah.
you're a celebrity and you're, oh, I knew I was going to do this. Oh, I sat in my bed dreaming about being in the WNBA or the NBA, or, oh, I always knew I was going to make it because, well, yeah, you've made it. So it's easy for us to see and be like, oh, they knew it. They manifested it. But I'm sure there's a lot of people who just knew, like, or even people who do make it to their dreams and it doesn't last, or something happens, or they go bankrupt. Somebody, it's just like, I always have in the back of my mind, like, what if I do get stuck in this cycle of working, like how you were saying, like, I make good money,
About
but the
that all
job
the
doesn't
time.
fulfill me. And that'll probably be more depressing than if I made the amount of money I made without my mom being at this level, because it's like, you only know what you're surrounded by. So if I'm surrounded by a parent who is successful in her career, who is able to have a nice house, able to send me to good schools and pay for them, like, that's what I was surrounded by. So when I make X amount of money, not that it's nothing to me, but it's like, okay, this isn't where I want to be. Whereas if there's somebody who, they grew up and not even have to have struggling parents, but just not as lucky as I am, it's like, okay, I'm making this, like, that's good. So it just all depends on what you're surrounded by, who you like, even when we go on social media and compare ourselves, it's who we're surrounded by. We went to schools and know people who are educated, who do great things with their lives, as opposed to us maybe going to schools where not as many people really had such ambitious dreams and desires and goals. But we went to private schools and suburban schools. So it's like what we're surrounded by is like, okay, this isn't good enough. But at the same time, I feel bad by like feeling like, oh no, this job isn't, because everybody else in my job, that's just their career. I'm sure 90% of them never like imagined it, because none of us really want to be there. But for me, I just have this, I'm not going to be here for much longer. I'm not going to be here. 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 I refuse. I'm going to do something. I don't know what it is. So for me, success is just, can I get there? Like if I get there, I might cry. I probably will. I'll probably look back like, the devil thought he had me. But yeah, not to ramble. I feel like we are both very passionate about this subject, so it's easy to go on.
Because
But
I feel like it's taking like that's what our life is right now. Like, and now that I think about it, now that you mentioned everything you mentioned, I realize like probably success for me would being able like to like take care of my family at the end of the day.
mhm.
Like my parents, they don't see themselves retiring at all ever, and I'm just like,
What?
that's crazy to me. Like I want to be able to retire them. Like my little cousin, like if she
Because
wants to
girl,
move in with me, like come on
if I'm
over.
not retired at 35, hang it up.
But I
I
get
don't
it
want to
though
do it no
because
more.
they have creative careers. So I understand that because
Mhm.
I don't ever see myself necessarily retiring because I always want to be creating
Yeah,
something.
you always,
And you
yeah,
see
exactly.
designers like dying and they're still working
Hmm.
in their 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's just
But
crazy to me.
then there's the point that, is that really work to them though? I want to get to
It's
that point
not.
where it's not work, where I'm just making money and it ain't even work, girl. You got a job, I got a hobby, and they both pay, but mine pays more. Okay. Um, yeah, yeah. Do you have any like, because for me right now, I don't have any specific like steps, and that is the problem. But it's like I just keep feeling like everybody is passing me by, and it's
Mm,
like every time around this time of year, it's like another class is graduating, another class is having prom, and I'm like, these are people who, when I was in high school, they was this big in fifth grade, and now it's like I've accomplished the same amount as them. We both have our high school diplomas. How cute. It's not. However, there are some people who that don't have their high school diplomas. That's cute for them. However, I would, much rather have
mhm.
me a good college degree. And if I don't make it to getting a college degree, which I don't even want to put that in the atmosphere because I just know that I'm better than that, then whatever my life has in store, they need to be creating the money, girl.
I know, sidebar. Sometimes I just like I know you don't want to move out here, but sometimes I wish you would just like apply to USC and like move out here because I know that was like your dream school. So I
Are
just
you
feel like
trying to make me cry?
not trying to, but I just feel like that would be
I mean, I don't want to give up, but it's like if I didn't get into USC right out of high school, babe, I had me like a point 0.5 GPA first semester. USC school of what? Bums, babe.
I feel like it's possible.
It is, but that would probably be grad school. Like, I don't think I'd be able to do undergrad just because it's already competitive. I don't know. But yeah, this subject is already like, I don't tear up in front of the camera. Y'all ain't gonna see me unless I'm lit. Y'all ain't gonna see the tears. But internally, I'm like, this subject is really getting me there, girl.
I think about it all the time. Or like if we both like just moved. Like I don't know why I have to be there, but it's just like I think it's just I'm not gonna cry. I'm just so
My
lonely.
God.
Like I miss you, and now I am gonna cry. I
Girl,
hate this.
well, you ain't cutting that out, girl.
So yeah, I don't know what I was gonna say.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like a lot of, I feel like we're so young and we already have like, well, at least me, I already have like a lot of, what if I had done this? What if that? And not to sidetrack, because we are supposed to be talking about success and not regrets, but I feel like a lot of it goes hand in hand because when I think of my success, I'm like, would I have been up to this point more successful had I done X, Y, and Z, or had I applied myself in this class? Like it always
Hmm.
goes back like in high school, what if I had done this and that? When I got to college, I wouldn't have needed to take this class. And once I started doing bad in this class, I started getting depressed. And maybe I would have. So it's just like a big domino effect. But
You
so
asked what the steps were,
yeah, I was just
or
about to say, so do you don't have you said you don't have
um, no, I completely ignored your question and had my own thing to say. But I've talked about it with my dad a lot because he's who I talk up. He's who that's right. He's
he's
who
who I
I
talk
talk.
to.
I need to go to bed. Talk to about like my frustrations with life.
Hmm.
Especially when I am comparing myself to other people. So in our talk today, it was just like I know I should be doing like a pop-up shop or something, but the whole thing is like I need to stop giving my time away to other people, um, and actually make the time for myself. I'm like self-sabotaging. So whole thing is to do 30 days, all the items I need in order to have the pop-up shop, like the table, the tent, the racks, the
Hmm.
hangers, like that type of stuff. But honestly, I am just awaiting a call from my mentor to be like, come over here to this job.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's June is almost here and I haven't heard anything. It's like eating away at me.
Hmm.
So I don't think there really are any steps. It's just like figure out what you want to do. And then it's like, okay, I
Do
think
it.
we're both the same in as we're like researchers. Like if I know I want to do something, I'm gonna Google, deep dive, TikTok, YouTube,
Hmm.
whatever I can find about that subject or like what I want to do. I I'm finding it. Like I will watch a daily vlog on 2 times speed just to be like, okay, this is
To
what they
absorb
do in
the
a day.
information.
Yes, read articles, like tell me everything I can know about it. So study and apply. That's my steps.
So
Study. What did I observe? And
for
go ahead.
me, I would say it's not even like I am a researcher, but more so like a filling this out type of research. Like
Mm-hmm.
obviously depending on what it is, I'm gonna like Google this or whatever. But like for me, I know the steps I need to take, but it's like when somebody puts the stare in front of me, I don't take it because I'm like, I wasn't ready for the next stair yet. Or how do I know I want to go up this flight? Maybe I want to go up this staircase down there. So it turns into like for the last 5 years, my mom will be like, okay, well, are you going to look into classes at such and such? Or, oh, I think you'll be good at this. And it's like, I sometimes I feel like when enough people tell you, like, because I'll hear the same things like, oh, you're funny, you should do this, or oh, you have a good personality, you should do something in like broadcasting, or oh, you know a lot about sports, maybe you should do sports broadcast. And while that is true, like, I feel like sometimes I'm trying to decide or try to differentiate whether this is me ignoring like God telling me to do something and what it act, because the things that they tell me, not that I don't think I'd like them, but it's like if it wasn't my idea, for some reason I have a hard time accepting it. I don't know if it's a control thing or if it's just like I want to do things my way on my own terms, which is still a control thing. But it's I don't know, it's weird. Like when people spoon feed things to me, I don't want to open my mouth.
Want to figure it out for yourself. Like I
I
hate
want to
when
figure it
people
out
do
for
that to me.
myself. So it's not even like I know that they're trying to help and they're like, just try this, just try that. But I don't know what it is with me. If it's not something I came up with, even though, yes, I could try it, maybe I'll love it. But I want it to be on my own terms. So it's like I get stuck just. So my steps are shit. Going back to school. Like I'm well aware of that. I knew that from the moment I damn withdrew. I know. But I don't know if it's still like me. I'm like very hesitant to do things because I want to do them the right way. I want to succeed at them. And since we're talking about success, obviously I have a fear of failure, but some of it isn't even a fear of failure. I just never feel ready to do things. And obviously you're never going to be ready, but I don't know. I just never feel ready. So I'm like always stuck. And even though I know the steps to take, I don't take them. So then I feel like I beat myself up because I feel guilty for like, well, why would I be mad that I'm in this position if I'm not doing anything to step forward? And a lot of people can like interpret it that way from the outside. And sometimes it kind of irritates me because like, well, you're not doing anything to shut up, girl, because at least I got money. You're broke. Stop talking to me. But it's like the people who, put themselves in certain positions or they just don't try to get out. I feel like I'm one of those people where it's like, well, I can't feel bad for you because you don't want to go back to school right now or you don't. And then there's this whole thing like I know that there's people who are like, oh, school isn't for everybody. The problem is I have never questioned whether school is for me. I know school is for me. It's just what school? School of what? Like, I don't know. So I'm still in this sunken place where I'm slowly getting stuck in the cycle that most people get stuck in and then end up not
Mm-hmm.
being able to get out of, where I've moved out, I have an apartment, I have to pay for the apartment, I have to pay rent. Also, this job is paying well for somebody who is just here for, a little stepping stone. But then the stepping stone turns into just a platform. And I had the platform, I just need the plan. It's like, no, but
A cliff, maybe. Now you
it's,
have to jump off the cliff to.
oh, girl, don't say that. I don't know. It's just stressful. It's really stressful. But no, really, you should compare you to me. Maybe you'll feel better because
It
I
doesn't
feel
make me feel better.
you said it does.
It doesn't.
Oh, why? What does
I
it
just
like?
feel like you have a stable life and I don't.
And
Like, I
sometimes
feel like I'm
stability is boring.
constantly struggling. And like every month I'm just barely making it by.
Well,
So
babe, I hate to tell you, but if this is how you compare yourself to other people, you are never going to ever
I'm
because
a really harsh critic of myself and I don't know where it comes from. Like I've just always
but the only thing, this is what I'm saying, like, we're not supposed to compare ourselves to anybody anyway.
mhm.
But babe, if you don't find somebody, you need to find somebody like, oh yeah, she got 3 kids already, 3 baby daddies, she living with her parents. Like, you need to find
See,
somebody.
well,
But it's just like,
I I don't I don't do that. Like
no, I mean,
when
I'm not
I
not
compare
literally.
myself to people who like are in
Yeah.
not similar situations, like my line sisters and people I follow on Instagram from college and high school who are married and like having kids, I don't compare myself to them because that's not I can't imagine being married right now. Like I was literally telling my
Yeah.
coworker, like both my parents work from home. I don't know how they do that because I need my space. Get away from me.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I was just joking. I was just joking. But like, but really though, because we compare ourselves to other people and it's like, but what you're looking at isn't even like, okay, more stability. Stable as in had the same damn job for almost 4 years that I never really intended to keep more than a couple months. Yes, stability. Stability as in didn't graduate college. Babe, I compare myself to you too. You want to go bar for bar? Like, okay, yeah, I got some stability, but okay. That's about it. That's about it. And even then, babe, you don't even know I forgot to put about 20 of my hours in a few weeks ago. So my check was light, babe. Am I going to be able to pay my rent? Yes. But am I going to have to dip into that savings? Oh, also a yes. Because I looked at my check. I said, oh, And I get paid every 2 weeks. So that's going to have to laugh. And it's Memorial Day and I'm off Friday. So I'm going to be outside. I'm going to be at that. But I'm just saying it's stuff like that where it's like, yeah, that's what you see, but would you trade stability and a regular job and a stable, steady income for your degree, for your work experience, for still we still are both living on our own. You've made it this far. Yes, maybe your payments in this has been like up and down depending on your job in this, but we both living alone. We both ain't got evicted. Neither one of us. Like, so what are we comparing here?
it's like I know that. That's my problem is like I can always see both sides. Like I would say the person I compare myself most to is the girl I graduated. Like we were the only two, maybe there was one other girl who graduated out of our department, but
Mm-hmm.
we were the only two like at the time who like really graduated out of our department. And it's like I know I don't want another degree. I know that another degree is not going to benefit what I want to do. But seeing like, oh, she's got her doctorates, her business, she has like she going crazy. Like people are buying and buying and buying from her. But I'm also like, it's the environment she's in because she's a professor on campus. She's still in North
Mm-hmm.
Carolina. Therefore,
Mm-hmm.
she has all the connections to campuses and she went to school at NC State. So she has those connections
She's
too.
a
So
professor.
like
She a
I can't
professor?
compare myself.
Yeah, you
She's
can't.
teaching,
Please stop comparing yourself.
but it frustrates me because I feel like and sometimes I hate that about myself. Like I don't think I'm better than anyone, but it's also like I have all these skills, I've done all these good things, and that's where you get into like the good child syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
where like I've done all these good things, but I'm seeing people who haven't put in as much time or work into
Mm-hmm.
it and gain success. And it frustrates me because I've been sewing for most of my life now, which
Mm-hmm.
is crazy, disgusts me.
Shut up.
But it's just like I don't feel like I have anything to show for it. And then, graduating, like when you're in school, you can get awards, you can get all these pats on the backs, good jobs, you can get in all these honor societies and make all these achievements. But in the real world, you get none of that. So it
Mm-hmm.
just feels like like in my career, I'm not being successful because I'm not being rewarded. And
Mm-hmm.
there is no reward for life, really. Like
Yeah, it's just
the
grind
reward
it
is having
out.
a roof over your head and food on your table.
Grind it out until you see that light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay, so I think the next step from this would be what's holding us back from being successful.
Ooh, what a loaded question. I usually only like my potatoes loaded. Um, but okay.
Let me
This is
stop.
gonna
Let me set
be
this down.
this is weird to like try to explain, but I feel like it's gonna make sense. It's self-doubt, but here's the kicker. I doubt none of my capabilities. Like there's no question in my mind that anything I apply myself to, I will do it better than anybody else in that room.
Mhm.
The problem, I don't know like what exactly the self-doubt is. It's not like what if I can't, it's just like what if. There's no ending to the question. It's just like what if, like what if I don't like it? What if this like it's never a question of if I can do it, because that's one thing in my life that has been a constant. One thing, one thing I know, because I was thinking one thing and then two things for certain. But anyway,
Yeah.
one thing I know, there's two things I know. The first, I got a sense of humor. I can make a lot of people laugh. I can switch up the type of jokes. I can lighten the mood. I know that. The other thing is that I am very capable and very smart and intelligent. So there has never, for my whole entire life, ever been a moment to where I thought there was something that I couldn't do. And when I say that, it makes no sense as to why I'm in the position I'm in. But there's still some type of doubt. And I don't necessarily know if it's self-doubt. Wait, let me finish my thought. I don't know if it's self-doubt, but there is doubt. Like there is uncertainty. I do not like uncertainty.
Mhm.
I like to know the outcome of things. And in life, you're not going to know the outcome. And I think that part bothers me. It's not, oh, what if I can't do this? It's, well, what if I don't like that? Well, the only way you're going to know is if you try it. Like I'm very well aware of these things. It's like
Mhm.
you got a left brain and a right brain. My left and right brain be talking to each other like, girl, like we know. But it just, I don't know. It's just, that's what's holding me back. It's just myself, self-doubt, doubt of anything, uncertainty, whatever the case may be. Okay, did you remember your thought?
I was gonna say it's like because you know you're capable and you're gonna be successful at whatever you do. You just don't know what you want to be successful at. And that's where
Exactly.
you get stuck.
That's where I get stuck. And then it's also hard when I'm never going to say, like, ooh, I wish I was only good at one thing, but it would be a little easier if I knew. Like, it's not, I'm good at, and not to, be here tooting my own horn. There's a difference in like gloating and just knowing what I am. Like, my whole life, somebody will tell me, you're good at this, you're good at that. And I didn't realize in the moment, like, until I looked at other people, like, oh, that's her painting. Ooh, I guess I am good at this. But it's just like I'm good at so many different things and I'm interested in so many different things that don't overlap. Like there's some things that can overlap. Like for you, you like fashion and then you also at times, well, I'm not gonna say at times because that makes it seem like you don't always, but like fashion has been your main, like creative has always been your main drive. But then you also have a mind that's good at business things or like marketing and like you're really good. Hate to tell y'all, I am not the face behind all the cute little posters and edits. It is Sydney. So it's like there are things that overlap that you can combine and make it. Like if I want to do something in medicine, but maybe I want to do something big, I can have a trademark. Okay, now you have business with medicine. Like I get that, but there's so many things that it's like, it's almost like you have those athletes who they were like LeBron James and all these other people who were maybe 5-star recruits in football and basketball. And they have to choose, which one would take me further or which one do I want to do more? Like
Mhm.
that's where I'm at because I used to want to be a writer. And lately I'm like, I really could be a writer. I was looking at old stuff like, I was writing this in middle school and my 23-year-old self is reading it like this is actually good. But in the moment, you don't realize it because you don't realize that your brain is working at a higher pace than others, or you don't realize that your creativity is different than others. Okay, check. Basketball. I watch sports. I could probably hold my own talking to most people about at the very least, basketball. But I always watched a bunch of different sports. So people are always surprised, like, oh, you know who that baseball player is? Like, yes, okay. Could I make it to ESPN? Like, there's like, could you be a best-selling novelist? Could you be on ESPN analyzing LeBron James's 40-year career? Like, could you be in the Louvre one day with one of your paintings because you also eat sleep, breathe art at one point in your life. And then you have the other side that's not creative or has anything to do with my personality. I used to want to be a neurosurgeon. I enjoy psychology, the way the brain works, the way the brain affects so many different things in your body. I enjoy that. My mom was a doctor, so I used to say, maybe I'll just be a neurosurgeon, make that money, make that money. So it's like all of these different things, and I'm sorry because I'm going on, but this is just a vent session right now. All these different things are like in each ear, and none of them outshine the other. Like there's not one of those things where I like it more than the other. It's like, and I don't know if this is an ADHD type thing, but it's like at any point I might just be hyper focused on writing. And then that'll kind of pass, and I'm hyper focused on painting. And then that'll pass. I'm hyper focused on, figuring out this Mandela effect and figuring out, should I be a physicist? Because, my best friend who happens to be in this video one day told me, oh, have you thought about physics? No, I didn't, but thanks for adding that to the list. So it's just like, what am I going to do? Oh, I think I went cross-eyed there for a second. You might have to cut that little thing out.
You know it.
But yeah, it's just like what's holding me back is the not knowing where each path will lead. All the paths look real nice and paved and flowers on the side. A nice fine gardener planting fresh hydrangeas on the right. It's just like, feel like I'm in a maze.
Feel that way too.
And it's like every time I get a little bit further, nope, turn back the other way. But so for you, what's holding you back?
I wouldn't say it's fear of failure because it's not that. I think I feel like I always have to be put together and have this perfect presentation of myself, as well as like I know.
Okay.
Okay, I don't even remember what I was saying.
You were saying you always feel like you have to be put together and
Oh, okay, yeah. So I was saying, um, I don't think I don't. What's holding me back is not a fear of failure. It's I think it's more fear of being perceived and like putting myself out there because I feel like my whole life I've been judged like and I just don't know like I've been who I need to be to get by for certain people and I just can't be my full self like people from church are starting to follow me on TikTok and TikTok was like my safe place and now I feel
like
like
to
I
get away from
can't.
them.
Well, because they're so judgmental. Because I know they're gonna be,
Yeah.
oh, Sydney's skirt is so short. Why she has all that
But
things
you
like.
also do realize that it if and when, because I'm not gonna say if,
Mhm.
but when you reach the space that you want to be in, unfortunately, the people who may not water you as a plant are gonna be there because you're gonna have more exposure, or
Yeah, I know
there's
people
going to
are
be,
clout
oh, you know,
chasers, so
Sydney's doing this, and oh yeah, she has her collection will be in New York. Like they're gonna be there. So hey, might as well learn now.
yeah, it's hard because I feel like I'm slowly unlearning like people pleasing, but it's still like consumes so much of my life
Hmm.
that I still am trying to figure out who I am, what I like, what I want to do versus who I've been for other people.
Yeah. And it's like whenever
Um,
you see them, you want to go back into that, like,
yeah, I it's like I don't want them to see me this way. I don't want to. It's not. I don't want to hear their judgments. Like
mhm.
I just wish I could block it all out because I already know what they're gonna say about me because I've heard what they say about other people. Like
But is it gonna even get back to you? Because if y'all are talking amongst yourselves,
because my mom will tell me and it pisses me
yeah,
off.
but
Like
are they do they still like communicate and tell your mom stuff?
yeah,
No, because I was about to say, are they might not even they might talk amongst themselves and not say anything to your mom, or like if y'all are talking amongst
or
yourselves and I
it'll
don't know
get
about
back
it.
to my grandmother and my
Mm.
grandmother will tell my mom and my mom will tell me or my grandma will call me and be like, "You did
Whack.
what?"
They
Like
whack.
it's just that's what I feel is like a major part of what's holding me back.
Hmm.
And just like promoting myself, putting myself out there. Like I I have I don't have like a huge following on social media or anything, but
Hmm.
the followers I do have, like I feel like they just watch to judge and not like
Mm.
actually support. So when I do like have things, it's just like that's I think that's what also frustrates me about the other girls. Like y'all are doing all this for her. Y'all won't even like my picture. Y'all won't even like
Mm.
repost my stuff. Like,
Yeah. But
and
y'all
I
have
feel it
the
hurts
same
me because
mutual.
I'm such a huge supporter of everybody else. Like,
Hmm.
I'll repost her stuff. I'll do all this. Like, I'll comment on her stuff. Like, oh, that looks really good. Like, I'm so
But
proud of you and the things you're
nobody.
doing. But nobody does that for me, and it's
Hmm.
really hurtful. And I try not to think about it because I'm just feel like nobody cares about me. Like, everybody was just fake towards me and like using me. Like, especially because all the stuff I did for our department and then me becoming an AK at the same time and then everybody wanting to like join and like all the connections I had coming into a Greek letter organization and what like on campus and what that opened up doors for our organization,
Hmm.
like the fashion department. And it's not that I want them to like praise me or anything, but it's just
But
like
just
all
acknowledge.
the like not even acknowledge, just like be like, hey Sydney,
That's what
like
I mean. Acknowledge. You don't have to praise me, but can you act like I exist or that I'm
yeah,
here?
I feel
That.
like they just don't care. And it's harder mostly because like I'm across the country, like
Hmm.
what can they do? But it's like I see people who graduated before me or around the same time as me, um, they're getting all these praise from our professors and stuff about all the stuff they've done.
Mm.
Like, and I'm just like, I was out here for a year working in costuming, working as a stylist. I work at a apparel, well, athletic company right now,
Mm.
and I'm not getting asked to come back and speak or talk to
Mm.
students or anything like that. And I know I'm only like a year out, but they were a year out doing that same thing. But
Hmm.
because I just,
2 years out, Sydney.
well, now it's 2 years, but I'm talking about like
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's me. I'm preventing myself. I'm the problem. It's me.
Okay. That sounded like some psychological thing that we need to discuss, but I don't know what because I do not have my PhD. So, not PhD. My bad, ADHD.
ADHD.
That too. Give me your top. Like, I was pissed. Or that really grinded my gear. No, you can't think.
I can't think. It's like now that I'm on the spot, I don't have
You said
anything
all these things, and now you can't think of one.
because I can't think of the one I wanted to say, and I don't want to
Mm.
say another one because the one I wanted to say was
Well, you
good.
might. When I said top, I didn't mean top one. I just meant like top two or three because you said it was a lot. So,
Oh, I got it. So in the workplace, I'm handle shipping and like shipments going in and out of our department, like whether someone gets mail and I have to pass them their samples or they give me a sample and I have to send it out.
mhm.
So I have a close relationship with the office services guy. He's like my work dad.
Okay.
And so he'll always be like, "Oh, I'm leaving this for you. You got this much mail," or um, I'll be like, "Oh, I have to send this out," like just whatever. So
Mhm.
my coworker, the one who's been there for like almost 2 years now, was out sick, and so it was just me and the new guy. And the new guy started like 3 weeks after I started. So somebody got fired on Monday. That was a shocker to everybody.
Okay.
It wasn't Monday. It was like last last week sometime.
I'm about to say it was on Monday.
So now all of a sudden he actually like wants to work, but he's not doing his job. He's doing mine.
Mhm. Yeah, that would piss me off.
So like I left a package. I had a whole bunch of packages open. I was like, I'm gonna wait till after lunch to open this one. So I just like moved it out the way, put it under my chair at my desk. I come back from lunch, my package is gone. He's opening my package.
Why are you doing? Yeah, that would piss me off. And it was on.
Okay.
And it was under. You said under your
Yeah, it's
chair,
in my personal space. I don't go into
right? Why
your
would you
personal space.
go?
What
Oh,
really
is
took
he
it
a?
over the edge? No. What really took it over the edge
He's
is
one of us.
yes. What really took it over the edge though was yesterday. Somebody, I ship things out. I'm the only one who does it.
Yes, you
Someone
ship, you receive.
puts it on the desk. They teams me, "Hey Sydney,
Hmm.
I'm leaving this on your desk. Here's all the information, even though I wrote all the information on the package, just like here you go."
Hmm.
So I just like the message, whatever. But I'm opening shipment at this time, so
Hmm.
I don't like I like to finish one task before starting another.
Right.
Then it's getting late. It's like almost 1 o'clock. I'm like I need to eat before I get a meal penalty. Like let me stop, eat, and then I'll ship this out afterwards.
Hmm.
I come back from lunch yet again. I'm like, where to go? I look over at his desk just because I already know what's up. It's on his desk, so I play dumb.
And then I don't like that because now you're trying to take the points away from me as well. Because first of all, it's my job and everybody knows it. If they're not sending you teams, why are you getting mine? A. B. It looks to me like you're trying to take away my responsibility so you can get your pat on the back. And I don't like that. But continue.
Exactly. He always does this. So
Ugh, I can't believe he's one of us.
uh,
Is he a little?
uh yes. So a few
Okay.
hours go by
Either white or
and
gay.
he still hasn't sent the package out. And I'm
Hmm.
like, last mail pickup is like 3:30. It's almost 3 o'clock. Uh so I sent a nice little message in the group chat. I'm like, someone left this package on my desk. I don't know where it is. Did someone send it out already?
Ooh, I love you, Sydney.
And I'm literally in the sample closet with him, just putting hangers on the tree after I sent the
I love
message.
the
And
pettiness.
so the tree's full of hangers. I go up the elevator, take him upstairs. I see him leave out and like dash towards the stairs. He's trying
He
to
was
race
running.
me up the stairs, take it off his desk and put it on mine.
See, he weird. Because
Because
first of
I
all,
would
you
it
gonna
would
do
make
all
sense
that?
if you're gonna take it, why aren't you gonna mail it? Like
No, that's
why
what I'm
aren't
about to
you
say. If you're gonna do all that, you could have dashed your ass to the mailbox because now it's gonna miss shipment because you playing games.
and it's gonna fall on
Ooh.
me because I'm over shipping.
No, what is gonna follow? I would have been like, has anybody seen this packaging? I know that the shipment, whatever, they don't pick up after 3. but it was on my desk when I left for lunch. I don't see it anymore. So that way, when it's late, it's on whoever. I would have been like, do y'all have cameras? I'd have been like, can we
Yeah,
run
we
the
have
cameras
cameras.
and
We
see?
run the
Oh,
cameras
babe. Oh,
around
you better than me. I would have been like, can anybody check the cameras around 3 and see if somebody took it and mailed it or what's going on? Who? Don't mess with me. What's his name?
I'm not saying his name on here. He remains anonymous.
I mean,
he should have been fired, Micayla. He's only worked one full week. He called out sick today. He calls out sick every single week. Oh, I have a family emergency. Oh, my dog. Like, my dad is like, he's gonna kill off every member of his family.
Right. Like, you see those people who say, like, at every job I work at, my grandma dies. Like,
But
dang.
I get happy because my grandma gets to die again.
Like, y'all are sadistic. Who wants to act that sad? And they probably be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry for your loss. Thanks. It's okay. Whole time, your daddy died 10 years ago, girl. Your daddy died while your mama was pregnant with you. And you talking about, oh, my father passed.
What's yours?
I don't know. I can't think of if anything like really pissed me off lately. I don't know if you want to do a 2-for-1 to make up for me, because I haven't really. I mean, I'm sure I could think of something, but I go to work and I come home. Obviously, you have the, negative people who at work that sometimes I think that people can interpret me as being negative when in reality I'm just dramatic. So I'm gonna go off and be cussing like, oh, this why da 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 da. But I don't really care that much. It's just in the moment. You know how I am. It's like, oh, it's some negative people at that job. Like, how you the supervisor and you walk in, be like, hey, how are you? Terrible. Well, I'm here. Like, that would have been acceptable if it's like somebody else, like one of us, but you a whole supervisor. Boy, if you don't get in my face with that, ugh, so negative. I'd be like, ugh, can I remove myself? But other than that, it's nothing really that pissed me off lately at work, or I mean, I don't do anything but go to work. So it's the only place that it would be.
Oh, that's all for today, folks.
That's all, folks.
Okay. Well, that's all we have. We're gonna end this episode here. As always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching it on YouTube, leave a review on Spotify, whatever.
Yes. If there's any particular parts of the podcast that you enjoyed or can relate to or made you think of somebody, go ahead and share that. All right.
Tell us why you feel unsuccessful as
Oh,
well.
now tell us why you feel unsuccessful.
What's preventing you from success?
What's preventing you from reaching your highest goal?
And why is it yourself? Okay. Follow us on TikTok, follow
Amazon,
us on Amazon. Follow us on Instagram at unverified.pod.
Audible, Instagram,
Audible.
yep. Unverified.pod on Instagram.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Deuces.